10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hundreds of dead fish wash up on the banks in a Flowood subdivision. Now neighbors are dealing with the smelly aftermath.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, get ready to place your bets as Mississippi casinos get ready for sports betting.
Plus, Governor Bryant takes to Twitter to let a thief know his wife is packing.
And for the 10th year, Al Jefferson is back in Prentice hosting his free basketball camp. I'll have that and more a little later in sports.
And mostly clear skies overnight tonight. Lows will be dropping to the upper 60s by tomorrow morning. We'll talk more about your complete 8-day forecast and the fact that we're going to be heating up for tomorrow and Friday. That's coming up in about 10 minutes.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We are just weeks away from the kickoff of football season and the kickoff of sports betting.
That's right. WJTV 12's Joe Harris takes a closer look at when you can place your bets.
A May Supreme Court ruling set the stage for sports betting in Mississippi.
Assuming everything goes well, probably in the next 7 to 10 days, we're looking at maybe 1 or 2 of the properties being able to offer sports wagering.
While sports wagering is already legal in Mississippi, there is still some steps before a casino is allowed to provide it.
From the regulated side of it, from my side of it, they have to submit their internal controls, their what we call the catalog of bets they want to offer, prove to us that they have adequate personnel that's knowledgeable with the process.
The casinos like Waterview say they hope to be kicking off their sports betting by the first Thursday night NFL football game.
Mississippi Gaming Commission was very proactive and ahead of the game as far as having the regulations ready to go. Our goal here, along with William Hill, is to have everything up and running before the first Thursday night football game.
The Gaming Commission told WJTV 12 that of the 28 casinos, 18 have submitted paperwork to start sports wagering. One football betting man said he's ready to take his chances.
That's like the day you lay off, day to pay off.
And what does that mean?
That means if you don't bet, you can't win.
In Vicksburg, Gerald Harris, WJTV 12.
Sounds like a lot of people are ready to go. Well, revenue for sports betting will go to the general or bond sinking fund here in Mississippi. Localities will also get a 4% cut of the profit.
Hundreds of dead fish wash up on the banks of a Flowood subdivision.
WJTV's Margaret Ann Carter is live on Laurelwood subdivision where those fish have washed up in the last 48 hours. Margaret Ann.
Melanie, Byron, that fishy smell is just overwhelming out here, and there are several neighbors right on this lake that are now having to deal with that smell along with the flies and buzzards that have been attracted to this area. I just spoke with a neighbor who says he was out here fishing on Monday and everything was normal, but when he came back on Tuesday, this is what he found. Many neighbors believe this is due to turnover, which means the oxygen level in the water gets extremely low and the fish die. And while the situation is bad now, neighbors fear and it's only going to get worse before it gets any better. We're going to talk with more neighbors, and we're going to have much more for you tonight on WJTV at 10 o'clock. For now, we're live in Flowood. Margaret Ann Carter, WJTV 12.
Thank you, Margaret Ann. It's video you will only see exclusively here on WJTV 12.
Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith met with President Trump's pick to join the U.S. Supreme Court. Just Brett Kavanaugh and Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith earlier this afternoon, they met in Washington. President Trump announced Kavanaugh was his nominee for the U.S. Supreme Court earlier this month. Justice Anthony Kennedy will retire at the end of the month.
Governor Phil Bryant and the First Lady say they are willing to take matters into their own hands if someone else tries to break into their farm. In a tweet posted yesterday, Governor Bryant wrote that someone tried to break into their farm in Copiah County. But that's not all the tweet said. It goes on to say, quote, I asked the First Lady not to go down until we find the perpetrators. Her response, I'm taking my AR down and waiting on there. You could probably figure out that last word.
Well, the Trump administration is allocating $12 billion to farmers across the U.S.
WJTV 12's Shay O'Connor joins us live in studio with reaction from a local Mississippi farmer. Shay?
Melanie Byron, I visited a soybean plant field in Belzona. There I spoke with Jeremy Jack with Silent Shade Planting Company. Now he tells me the news of Trump giving money to farmers makes him hopeful as the trade war grows between U.S., China, and other countries.
Right down in the Delta,
and most areas are riddled with soybean fields. Jeremy Jack with Silent Shade Planting Company in Belzoni says it is because the plant is one of the state's largest crops. Recent tariffs on crops like soybeans, cotton, and wheat have made it hard for farmers to make a profit.
Soybean prices have plummeted, 20% over the last 3 months. From their high to where they are today, we're looking at $2 a bushel off where we should be. And that's just the prices where they were.
Jack says he is hoping the $12 billion soon to be allotted by the Trump administration will fill that gap and give relief to farmers being affected by tariffs placed from China and other countries.
We're really hoping that if the trade war comes to an end, that we'll have higher prices than what we were at, but at the prices we are at right now, it's very hard for a producer to stay in business.
Jack says repayment for the lost business is significant, but that is not the only thing he is hoping for. He wants to see an increased profit from his crops, but for now he feels positive about the future for farmers.
We're very hopeful for the future of what the future of agriculture holds for us. We're also very hopeful that the president and his administration will end the tariff war soon, but we understand it does take time.
And if allocated, the money would be given to farmers 3 different ways. Now, one of those ways are through payment to producers, purchasing certain commodities to give food aid, and also allocating money towards market access programs. Melanie Byron, back to you.
All right, thank you, Shay. Well, Mississippi organizations receiving recognition for the role that they are playing in the battle against human trafficking. Mississippi Center for Violence Prevention and the National Human Trafficking Hotline awarded the Mississippi Federation of Republican Women for their efforts on raising awareness in our state. Executive Director for the Violence Prevention Center, Sandy Middleton, says that the group's efforts have really helped bring attention to the hotline that's used by not just victims.
National Human Trafficking Hotline is where victims can call for seeking services. It's where law enforcement can call for assistance. It's the communication between them and law enforcement when just an average citizen calls the hotline to report something they see that they think suspicious.
Well, the hotline also keeps up with statistics. Middleton says it's a great tool for them. Members of Working Together Jackson came together this afternoon to tell people why they support the bond referendum for the Jackson Public Schools. JPS is hosting a town hall meeting tomorrow to discuss the bond referendum. Officials will be discussing facts surrounding the bond referendum. Voters will head to the polls on August 7th to cast their ballot on the issue. Members of Working Together Jackson spoke about why they support the bond.
Supporting the bond because we're all about rebuilding our schools. 25% of the water fountains in JPA schools do not work, and the bond will address these issues and many of the other problems cited by the state.
The meeting is at 6 o'clock tomorrow evening at Kirksey Middle School.
Entergy Mississippi held a grand opening today for its new state-of-the-art operations center. The $20 million building is designed with employees and customers in mind. The modern facility plans to use high-tech tools to detect emergencies and high-priority issues quicker. One employee who worked during Hurricane Katrina says the upgrades were needed. He says the updated technology is going to make their jobs easier.
Out of the iPhone and all the other technology that we have today, we were writing things on wallboards, trying to keep up with resources and people we were trying to bring in to restore power. Just an inefficient way to do things. In this building, this is all going to be electronic.
Entergy's new facility will also be home to a war room, which will be used during major restoration events. Christmas came early today at the outlets of Pearl.
That's right, the Make-A-Wish teen got the surprise of his life. 13-year-old Marcus arrived in style to what he did know was the beginning of an early Christmas shopping spree. Marcus battles sickle cell disease and strokes, but today he was just a kid for a list for Santa Claus. Make-A-Wish in Mississippi, the outlets of Pearl, and a Water Tree Health worked together to put a smile on his face.
I also have to go to the hospital tomorrow, so he have one day that he don't have to worry about hospitals and doctor visits and stuff.
Well, Marcus's wish is one of 100 Wishes Make-A-Wish Mississippi grants every year. Good for him. Looks like he had a good time. Let's turn things over now to Griffin for a check on the forecast.
I love that story. That's really touching. I love that for sure. All right, so your forecast overnight tables, the weather will still be pretty calm. We'll have temperatures that drop to the mid-70s by midnight tonight, waking up to the upper 60s by tomorrow afternoon, or tomorrow morning, I should say. Tomorrow afternoon will be a little bit hotter. Our highs will get up into the mid-90s here in the metro and possibly the upper 90s farther south, all the way up to 97 near places like Macomb and Tylertown. We'll talk more about how we're going to stay hot for the next 2 days, but then the rain starts to come back towards the end of the weekend. We'll talk about that and more in your 8-day forecast coming up after the break.
We're clear.
I'm looking at 8 block.